Today's lesson is about the parts of the eye.
Today you're going to be learning about the parts of the eye. So we're going to look at what all the parts do, and we'll first of all learn about what they look like in a diagram. So here we go. So there's a picture of the human eye, and this is a cross section. That means we've taken the eye and we've cut it in half, and you can see this would be like the front of the eye here, and the person riding the bike is what the eye is going to see. This would be the back of the eye. The part that you would actually see when you look in a mirror at your eye is only from where the mouse pointer is now down to about there. So that's where your eyeball would be. Now we're going to look at the names of the different parts of the eye. And the first part we're going to look at is this outer covering on the eye. It's the outer covering just on the outside that you would see of your eye. What do you think that's called? That's right, it's called the cornea. And it's a protective layer that helps to prevent things from damaging your eye. It also acts as a focusing part of the eye. It bends the light as the light moves into your eye. The second part is this space here that the light is going to enter into the eye through. And as a hint, it's actually the dark colored part of your eye. What do you think that's called? You're right. The second part is the pupil, and that's where the light enters into the eye. Now, around your pupil, you have this part here. It's the colored part of the eye. It's in the cross section. It's there, and then also down here at the bottom. What would you call that part, that colored section of your eye? You're right. That's the iris, and the iris can change shape to let more or less light enter through the eye. So let's say that you were outside on a bright sunny day. Well, your iris would grow in size. It would move down this way, and it would also move up this way, and that would make the size of the pupil much smaller to let less light in so that you're not overwhelmed by light in your eyes. The fourth part is this structure here. What does that look like to you? That's right, it's a lens, and that's actually what type of lens do you think? Is it convex or concave? You're right, it is a convex lens because it's thicker in the middle and thinner around the edges. Okay, moving into the eye. Now, if we go into the eye, we've got three more parts that we're going to look at. The first one is this part called the retina, and the retina is this layer at the back of the eye, and it acts like the screen where the image is projected onto the back of the eye. So here's your object, this person on the bike, and then the image that they're going to see on the retina is formed right back here on this retina at the back of the eye. In between that, there's actually a part called vitreous humor, and it's kind of a thicker liquid that's within the eye. So that's the retina. The next part is called the optic nerve, and nerves are all throughout your retina, and they help to detect the image that you see and bring it to the brain. So the image that you see on the back of your retina is transferred through the optic nerve to your brain. And then to move the eye, what do you think these things are here at the top? There's one at the bottom here as well. What do you think those are? Those are called the eye muscles. So it's an eye muscle at the top there. So those are the 7 basic parts of the eye that I want you to know about. We're now going to go through the definitions that you'll need to know in order to answer some questions. So the first part, the cornea, what does it do? Well, it helps to focus the image and protect the eye. The second part is the pupil, and it's that black circle that you see in the center of your eye. Well, it lets light move into the eye. It's where light enters into the eye. The third part is the iris, and that's the colored part that surrounds your eye. And it allows light allows the size of the pupil to change size so that more light or less light can come in depending on what you need. And then we have our lens, and the lens is going to bend the light and focus it and refract it so that the image appears exactly where it should, right on the back of the retina, so that you can see the object that you're looking at. And the retina is like the screen at the back of the eye where an image is projected, and then it transfers that image to the brain. The optic nerve is the nerve that connects up to the retina and transfers the image that you see to the brain. And the last part is the eye muscle, and that controls the movement of the eye so that it can change the direction the eye is pointing and helps it to focus the image by changing the shape of the eye a little bit. So that's eye muscle. It controls the movement of the eye. So those are the different parts of the eye and what they do. I hope you learned something there, and we'll talk to you again later. Bye.
So I hope you learned something about parts of the eye.